So my last theory video was a bit random, and with the recent premieres of Watching and Dreaming released by Disney, some of my theories were discredited. So in this video, I'm going to announce some more theories of mine that line up a bit better with what was shown in these premieres. And with that, remember to like the video, and let's get started. So I'm sure you all saw the thumbnail, and I want to preface this theory by stating I highly doubt anyone is actually going to die, but if I had to choose the most likely candidate, I believe it will be King. Now very quickly before I get into why I think so, I want to state why I think Camila won't die, since that idea is being thrown around. Firstly, it's Disney, and while they do have a history of making parents disappear, such as Manny, Luz's dad, who is very clearly gone, but these are often the case if they are dead from the beginning of the show. Disney has so far never done such a thing when the parent was a core character, and I don't think they'll start now. Secondly, it makes no sense from a storytelling standpoint to kill Camila. She has never been part of, nor plays any role in Luz's and Belos' conflict with each other. It will also just be really cruel of the show to do such a thing right after Luz and Camila make up with each other, and I feel that it would serve no purpose for the show for this to happen. And finally, what about V? This lovable Basilisk's arc would be completely ruined if Camila were to die. Alright, now to the actual theory. King will die. Let's look at what we have. King and the Collector are the last of their species, which have been in conflict for each other for who knows how long. We also learn in For the Future that Titan magic cancels out Collector magic. An interesting choice of words that I explore more in my previous theories video. We also end For the Future with the Collector extremely angry at King, thinking that he has betrayed him. With that in mind, let's also look at King's character. Throughout the show, he has transformed from a narcissist to someone who truly cares for the people around him. This is something that is truly unique only to him. But seriously, it is shown that King deeply cares for Luz, and I am sure that he would not hesitate to sacrifice himself for her. King is also someone that everyone in the show knows and has some sort of association with, and is one of the only core characters that does not have a lover, making him the perfect character to have something bad happen to. Of course, there is no hard evidence that King will die, but as you can see, everything lines up perfectly for such a thing to happen. I don't know how he will die, but I have two really good guesses. Firstly, and this is the one I most believe in the inevitable fight between King and the Collector, King will get gravely injured, and after a tearful goodbye to his family, pass away. Second, there is a chance that Belos will be trapped in the In-Between realm, and it is implied that the Titan that originally trapped the Collector in the In-Between realm died in the process, and this might be foreshadowing that the same thing will happen to King. I'll explain this a bit more in these next upcoming theories, so be sure to keep listening. Whoa, I know, a lot to take in, but bear with me. Also, tell me what you guys think of my theories in the comments, and be sure to subscribe as well. Now my second theory is that the Collector will be reduced to a normal boy. Again, this goes back to the fact that Titan magic cancels out the Collector magic. This theory is quite short as I literally have nothing to back up this claim, except that there is no way that the Collector will be able to continue as he is after this episode. The people of the Boiling Isles will probably hate him for what he has done, and unless has a main hero moment where she convinces everyone to take in the Collector, I do not see them remaining in the demon realm. Obviously, we can't have a supernatural being in the human realm, can we? And considering the fact that the Collector has human-shaped ears, it will be very easy to pass him off as a normal boy. If this is true, it looks like Camila is still gonna have a pretty big family. This next theory is a bit crazy. I believe that the In-Between realm that I've talked about is the afterlife. This realm has always interested me ever since it was shown in yesterday's Lie. Now you might argue that this realm is more of a gateway to other realms, a travel hub if you will. You can also argue that the Collector was trapped there, and hence there is no way it could be the afterlife. But here's what I have to say. That is true, but at the same time, we don't know how the Collector was originally trapped. What if the Collector is so powerful that the only way to defeat him was to trap him in this afterlife? A good example would be Kung Fu Panda 3 when Po tricks Kai into going to the afterlife with him. This would not only explain why the original Titan died when trapping the Collector, but also why Luz saw a Titan-shaped figure in For the Future. Again, I have absolutely zero evidence to back this up, but this theory really feels right to me, and I am sure that this will finally be answered in the show. Now, if you think that theory is weird, wait until you hear my final theory. But first, Theory 4. Luz, Ida, and King will be shown their worst nightmares. In the premiere, Luz is shown to be in an emperor's outfit, and the people she knows turned to stone. Similarly, Ida is shown to be back at the Conformatorium, and King is just really traumatized. For Luz, turning into Belos and being unable to save the people she cares about are probably her worst fears. Similarly, Ida's worst nightmare is probably to be caught and forced to work for someone else. We also hear the phrase, "you have to wake up," further implying that Luz is under some sort of spell. Now, I'm not sure what King's worst nightmare will be, but I have an idea. I believe King's worst fear is that Luz dies or gets severely harmed. This plays into my first theory. I believe that King will realize this fear, and when the time comes in reality, King will not hesitate to do what is necessary. Theory 5. Belos will disable magic in the demon realm. Again, in the premiere, we see the characters use hand-drawn glyphs, despite them being able to do magic without them. We also see the Titan's Heart that was shown so long ago, but was never explained. Remember that witches have a magic sack next to their hearts that enable them to do magic? I believe that the Titan's Heart is somehow connected to that, and that Belos will somehow corrupt it. Thus, no magic will be possible by normal conventions, and that is why we see the characters use the hand-drawn glyphs. There's not much else to explain here, but that's because this final theory hits hard. Theory 6. There will be a separation ending. Before I explain my thoughts, I know that there is another show very similar to The Owl House that also has a separation ending. Please, do not specify the name of that show as to avoid any potential spoilers to anyone who hasn't seen that show yet. If you do want to mention it, simply write that one show in the comments. Thank you. Now, this theory is in line with my previous theory that King dies. King is the only source of Titan blood left on the Boiling Isles, and possibly in any known realm. If King were to die, traveling between worlds would be impossible, and thus, Luz would have to make a final decision. Will she stay in the demon realm, where she has grown so much? Or will she go back to the human realm with her mother? I believe that this is the heartbreak ending that the Owl House will have. And I think that Luz will go back to the human realm. Why do I think so? Well, the theme of this show is to be yourself. The phrase, "us weirdos have to stick together," only really applies if you think you are a weirdo. Luz has grown so much throughout the series, and I feel that it is safe to say that she is no longer that immature, disconnected girl we were initially shown all the way back in Season 1. I believe that Luz will realize this. She will see that the demon realm is quite literally a fantasy for her, and no matter how enticing it might seem to stay there, she needs to go back to reality. Luz will then have to say her final goodbyes to everyone, and then leave the demon realm forever. What do you think of these theories? Please tell me in the comments below. See ya!